Hi, and welcome to another recital presented by yours truly, Cryptids Roost. Please be so kind as to throat punch the like button, and don't forget to smack the ass of that subscribe button as well. This will help with YouTube's algorithm and will help promote the channel more. And if you would like to support the channel and help make it grow, my PayPal is paypal.me/cryptidsroost. And don't forget to check out the merch store. All the links will be listed below. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. So grab your coffee, sit back and enjoy the show. 'Twas the morning before Christmas. This fantastic story is written by Plague692, a wonderful author over on Reddit. It all started on December 20th, 2019. I started to hear loud banging on the roof. I figured it was just normal animals on the roof type of stuff until the stench caught my attention. I went up to the attic to check out the smell before my parents got home, and I didn't find anything. Every time I got to the source, it moved deeper into the attic. When my parents got home with my little sister from school, they also noticed the smell. I told them about the banging and how every time I got to where I thought the source was, it just moved again. The next night was quiet. Though I did see some movement outside my window, there was nothing more past that for the rest of the night. The stench had also seemed to be lessened, as if whatever the cause was had just left without another incident. I asked my dad about it, and he said he thought the same thing I did, and that it was probably just a skunk or something that had left due to lack of food or something. I went back up to the attic to look around again. I found a couple of boxes that had scratched up and a small nest made of insulation, which just went to prove that it was just some rodents. No human would be dumb enough to make bedding from the itchy insulation fluff. The 3 days till Christmas, my little sister was excited. Of course, she's only 9, so Christmas is the most magical day in the entire year, according to her psyche. During the night, while I was trying to fall asleep, just like normal, I heard a scream from her room. My parents were working late at their store, like normal, so I was the only one other than her in the house. I went downstairs to see what was wrong. I went into her room and saw that she had used a thick blanket to cover the window up. Then I looked up at her. She had gotten at least 13 different blankets and used them to hide next to her bed. I went to go comfort her and ask what had happened. I saw a tall man in the trees. I moved towards the window and took the blanket off of it. I didn't see anyone or anything, and I went to tell her, but she didn't believe me. So I went to my room, got my Bowie knife, went outside her window and pretended to fight something invisible. I ended the fight by getting in an up position and stabbing the ground like I was finishing something off. Then I went inside and told her that I had killed it. She was still a little scared, so she slept in my bed while I slept on the ground, to the downfall of my neck. 2 nights till Christmas. My parents closed the shop for the holidays, so we were just hanging out in the living room playing board games, and we're just having good family time, which we didn't have too much of nowadays. We were in the middle of yelling at each other over, when we heard loud thumps on the roof of the house through the snowstorm. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that tonight there was an incredibly strong snowstorm. My dad and I went outside to see where the noise came from. We went to the roof and we didn't see anything, not even footprints in the snow, to see if something was there. We went down and then went back inside. We went back to playing games and almost completely forgot about the incident as we started to yell at each other, but this time over Monopoly. It was the morning of December 24th, and I was woken by a loud noise of shattering glass and screaming from my parents' room. Instinctively, hiding under my bed, I shoved a bunch of clothes and such in front of me, and pulled some of my rolling drawers under my bed in front of me as well, for protection. I texted my sister to see if she was all right. She didn't text me back for a few minutes when I was about to sneak down to her room to check on her, when the door to my room burst open and I stopped shoveling my small barrier. In came a tall, naked man covered in what appeared to be thin white hair, which covered the top of his head and broad part of his chest. He threw my mom and dad in the room with a great amount of force. The creature looked around the room, most likely seeing why I wasn't in the room. My dad piped up, "Where's Danny?" My mum quickly looked at him and said, "Danny went to a friend's house, remember?" My dad, getting what she was saying, said, "Oh yeah, I forgot." They were trying to protect me by making out whatever was trying to kill them, and I was thankful for it. Then my phone pinged. I'd already put it on silent, so there was almost no noise, so no one got alerted to my presence. The ping was a text back from my sister. She said that she was outside her window. She had heard the loud noise and jumped out. She had tried to call the police, but the signal couldn't go through, and that she could only just manage to text me back now. She said she was about to go through the window inside before I could finish typing to tell her to stop. I heard the noise of broken glass from her room. The beast turned its head fast enough to cause a normal human whiplash and broke into a sprint. Seconds later, a scream from her room, and then the beast ran back to mine with her in its freakishly large hand. It sat her down rather forcefully. My mom ripped the rosary off her neck and shoved a crucifix into the creature's face, while basically screaming Bible quotes and prayers at it at the top of her lungs. The creature just stared blankly at her and her crucifix. It then started to giggle, and it covered its mouth like a child tried to hide its amusement. It just stood there giggling for a number of minutes before grabbing the symbol from her hands and quickly shoving it down her throat, causing her to bleed through her mouth and choke to death on her own blood. My father stood up and tried to charge at the thing. He threw a punch, but the creature caught his arm and started to squeeze until the noise of his elbow shattering filled the air. The creature then twisted his arm until it popped painfully out of the socket with a wet popping noise. He fell to the ground. His arm bent in an unnatural way. It looked extremely painful. He attempted to stand, but the creature grabbed onto his head with both hands and started to slowly constrict down. After a minute or two of the creature squeezing down and my dad trying to break free, the wet ripping sound of skin being torn from his body, the creature dropped him and I saw the top of his head ripped open and crushed with blood running down it. It was an awful sight. I tried to move, but fear paralysed me, and no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't. No matter how hard I tried to move my muscles, they wouldn't budge. The creature started to giggle quietly to itself and then broke into a full laugh for several seconds. It was a hellish laugh, as if the voice had been run several times through an out-of-date audio recorder and twisted into a whole new, inhuman voice. Then my sister, out of fear, started to get up and run away. The creature grabbed her and forced her to the ground. It then pulled most of her tongue out of her mouth and applied pressure to her chin, until after 30 seconds her teeth went through her tongue and severed it. The creature then picked her up by the head and grabbed onto the stump in her mouth, squirting blood. As I write this, the creature is using her head to write a message on the wall in front of me. Oh God, I think it finished the message. The creature just snapped her neck and threw her to the side. I couldn't bring myself to read it. The creature started to move outside of my room, and I decided to look at it. My eyes met the wall, and I was able to see clearly the words stained into it with my sister's blood. The message read, "I know you were under there." Wow, that was an awesome story. If you enjoyed listening to this chronicle, be sure to pop over to the author's Reddit profile, Plague692, and then drop them a line, or even give them a glowing review. The link to their Reddit profile will be below in the description. And if you enjoyed my narration, then please feel free to like and share the video, leave a comment, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tap that notification bell and then select all. That way you'll receive all notifications each time I upload a new video. Now, even though I'm not yet monetized by YouTube, I have created some awesome merchandise for you guys. So please be so kind as to visit our store and grab yourself a t-shirt, face mask, mug, hoodie, or whatever else grabs your fancy. There's plenty there to choose from. The link is in the description. And if you would like an honourable mention, send in a snapshot of yourself with your purchase from the merch store, and I will feature it in one of my videos. Now, have you ever written a creepypasta story you'd like me to narrate? or if you had any cryptid sightings, paranormal or supernatural encounters, you can submit your stories and encounters to cryptidsroost@gmail.com. And if you wish to remain anonymous, that's fine with me. I also have a Facebook group, Twitter, Reddit and Discord. And if you'd like to support the channel and help make it grow, my PayPal is paypal.me/cryptidsroost. Again, that'll all be below. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everyone. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not.